I told my girlfriend I would go to the gym without her. She said I was looking for female attention behind her back, but then I found out about her hypocrisy. I've been with my girlfriend for about 2 years now, and at first, everything was fine. She's the type who never leaves my side, always glued to me no matter what we're doing. Grocery shopping, watching TV, even just sitting on the couch scrolling through our phones, she's right there. It didn't bother me much in the beginning because I figured she just liked being close. We'd go everywhere together, do everything as a unit. She'd insist on it, saying it's what couples do, and I went along with it. But after a while, it started wearing on me. I couldn't get a second to myself without her being part of it. If I even hinted at needing space, she'd flip out, tears, yelling, the whole deal. She'd accuse me of not loving her or wanting to ditch her, so I learned to keep my mouth shut. It was easier that way, even if it meant I was quietly going nuts. I tried to focus on the good stuff, like how she'd always plan these little dates for us, but deep down, I was starting to feel trapped. Things stayed like that for months, and I didn't know how to bring it up without starting World War II. Things started shifting when I noticed she didn't always stick to her own rules. She'd cling to me like her life depended on it, but then she'd suddenly have these nights out with her friends. At first, I didn't think much of it. She'd say it was just a girls' night, and I'd shrug it off. I was actually relieved to get a break. But then it became a pattern. She'd go out with her crew, sometimes even crashing at a friend's place, and I'd be left at home alone. If I ever asked about it, she'd laugh it off, saying I was being dramatic or that I should be happy she wasn't dragging me along. It stung because I couldn't even step out for a coffee without her tagging along or blowing up my phone if I went solo. Yet here she was, doing whatever she wanted. I'd sit there, scrolling through X or playing some game, wondering why it was fine for her to have her own time but not me. It didn't add up, but every time I tried to point it out, she'd twist it into a joke or act like I was overreacting. It went on like that for weeks, and I just swallowed it after a while. I couldn't ignore how one-sided it all felt. She'd be out with her friends, posting pics on Instagram, bars, dinners, late-night hangouts, while I was stuck at home, basically waiting for her to come back. I started thinking about what I wanted for once. I'd been meaning to get in shape, so I decided to sign up for a gym membership. Nothing crazy, just a place to lift some weights and clear my head. But I didn't tell her I wanted to go alone. See, whenever we did anything together, it always turned into her show. She'd take over, make it about her, and I'd end up playing second fiddle. Like when we tried hiking once, and she spent the whole time posing for pics instead of actually walking. I needed something that was just mine. So I casually mentioned the gym thing, saying I'd probably go a few times a week. That's when the trouble started. She didn't say much at first, just gave me this look, but I could tell something was brewing. I figured I'd deal with it later. Big mistake. Things were about to get messy. The gym thing blew up faster than I expected. I told her I was going to start going after work, and she hit the roof. She didn't even let me finish explaining before she started accusing me of all sorts of crap. She said I was only signing up to check out other women, that I wanted to flirt and get attention behind her back. I was floored. She knew I wasn't that kind of guy. I tried explaining I just wanted to work out, maybe feel better about myself, but she wouldn't hear it. She kept going, saying I was betraying her by wanting to go without her. It turned into this huge fight. She was yelling, pacing around, telling me she wouldn't let me go because I couldn't be trusted. I'd never seen her so worked up over something so small. It wasn't even about the gym anymore. It was like she thought I was planning to ditch her entirely. I got so fed up with the arguing that I just caved. I canceled the membership before I even stepped foot in the place. Kept the peace, I guess, but it left me pissed off and Stucky gave up the gym idea. But she didn't change a thing about her own plans. She kept going out with her friends like nothing happened, same bars, same late nights, same excuses. I'd sit at home, stewing, while she was off doing whatever. It wasn't like I had proof of anything shady, but it gnawed at me how she could flip out over me wanting 1 hour alone at the gym, yet she got to roam free whenever she felt like it. Then one night, I got a text from a buddy who'd seen her out at some club. He wasn't trying to stir the pot, just mentioned it casually. But he dropped something that hit me hard. She wasn't just with her girlfriends. There were guys there too, new ones, not part of her usual crew. He said she was laughing, dancing, looking real cozy with some dude he'd never seen before. I didn't sleep that night. I kept replaying her words about me. Looking for attention. And now here she was, doing exactly what she'd accused me of. The hypocrisy was staring me in the face, and I couldn't unsee it after my buddy's text. I couldn't let it go. I started paying more attention to what she was up to when she went out. She'd always been vague about her plans, just hanging with the girls, or crashing at Jess's place. But now I was connecting dots. I didn't have a smoking gun, no pics or videos, but little things started adding up. She'd come home later than usual, sometimes smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. Her phone was always locked tight, and if I even glanced at it, she'd snatch it away like I was about to rob her. I'd ask how her night went, and she'd give me these short, annoyed answers before changing the subject. It wasn't proof, but it was enough to make me paranoid. Then one weekend, she said she was going to a birthday thing for her friend Tara. I remembered Tara's birthday was in July, and it was freaking March, so I called her out on it. She stammered, said it was a belated celebration, and got mad that I was interrogating her. I let it slide, but I was done playing dumb. A couple days later, I ran into Tara at the grocery store, pure chance. I asked how her birthday party went, just to see what she'd say. She looked confused and said her birthday wasn't for months. That's when I knew my girlfriend was full of it. I started asking around quietly through mutual friends. One of them finally spilled it. Her girls' nights were a cover. She was meeting up with random guys, friends of friends, coworkers, whoever, every time she went out. They'd seen her flirting, swapping numbers, acting like she wasn't even in a relationship. I felt sick hearing it, but it wasn't a shock anymore. It was like I'd been waiting for the puzzle to click together. All those fights about me wanting space, all her accusations about the gym, and she was the one playing games the whole time. I didn't confront her right away. I needed to sit with it, figure out what I was going to do. But I was already checked out, 2 years with her, and I was starting to see I'd been an idiot for sticking around. I couldn't keep it bottled up forever. After finding out the truth from Tara and that friend, I decided to confront her. It was a random Tuesday night. She'd just gotten back from another girls' night, and I was done waiting for the perfect moment. I told her we needed to talk, and she rolled her eyes like I was about to ruin her vibe. I laid it all out, how I knew she'd been lying about where she was going, how people had seen her with other guys, how she'd been flipping out on me for the gym while she was doing way worse. She didn't even try to deny it at first. She just sat there, arms crossed, looking annoyed. Then she turned it around on me. She said I was suffocating her, that I never gave her space to be herself, and that she needed these nights out to unwind from how clingy I was. I couldn't believe it. She'd been the one glued to me for years, and now I was the bad guy. She kept going, saying I was overreacting and trying to control her life. It was like she didn't even hear what I was saying about her hypocrisy. I was too mad to keep arguing, so I just shut down. The fight didn't solve anything. It just made everything clearer. I spent the next few days replaying it all in my head. 2 years with her, and it hit me how much time I'd wasted. She'd kept me on a leash, freaking out if I stepped out of line, while she was off doing whatever she wanted with whoever she wanted. I'd cancelled my gym plans, stopped hanging out with my own friends, basically shrunk my whole life to fit her rules, and for what? She didn't even respect me enough to be honest. I started packing my stuff, not much, just clothes and a few things I cared about. She was out when I did it, probably at another girls' night. I didn't leave a note or text her. When she got home and saw my side of the closet empty, she blew up my phone, missed calls, messages asking where I was, then angry ones saying I was overreacting again. I didn't answer. I crashed at my buddy's place and blocked her number. It wasn't dramatic or messy, just done. I was tired of her games, and I wasn't going back to that Kaji. It's been a couple weeks since I walked out, and I'm still getting used to it. I'm at my buddy's place, sleeping on his couch, but it's better than being back there. I signed up for that gym membership again. This time, no one's stopping me. I've been going a few times a week, lifting weights, running a little, just figuring out how to feel normal again. My phone's quiet now that she's blocked, and I'm not checking Instagram every 5 minutes to see what she's up to. I heard through a friend she's still going out, still pulling the same stunts, but it's not my problem anymore. Looking back, I see how much I let her run my life. 2 years of bending over backwards, dodging fights, and giving up stuff I wanted just to keep her happy. It wasn't worth it. She accused me of chasing other women when I just wanted an hour alone, and all along, she was the one crossing lines. I'm mad at her, sure, but I'm madder at myself for sticking around so long. Now I've got my own space, my own time, and I'm not letting anyone pull that crap on me again.